Hey, neighbor.
What's going on? Anything exciting happened since I saw you last?
I don't know. The Palestinian Authority said the Israelis killed the Jews at the music festival.
Yeah, the Abbas it's crazy.
Now, why isn't that on the cover of the Wall Street Journal? Like, I just don't understand. And it bothers me so much that every article about Israel finding a tunnel or,
Yeah,
talking about how Israel claims, Israel says,
yeah,
and then they just take it. But Hamas says that it's fake. Like it never says Hamas claims. It's only Israel claims. It drives me crazy.
yeah. Lately, I've known the articles in the Wall Street Journal have become like too balanced. You know what I'm saying? It's like they go out of their way to give the Palestinians perspective. It didn't used to be like that. It's like it troubles me.
I agree with you.
I think Rupert Murdoch is no longer in charge.
And on the flip side, the BBC has like kind of balanced itself a little bit more,
Well, they screwed up. They've screwed up several times. So
yeah. So you look on Al Jazeera, and it never mentions anything. I mean, it's all this Palestinian garbage, and then you scroll. They say, "Oh, Israel claims it found a tunnel."
oh, yeah, it's very upsetting. But they're going to
People say
release
we
50
live in a
hostages.
what?
They're going to release 50 hostages, like 10 a day.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, who knows this? And
I
then
think
they're going
Israel
to
should have
praise
taken
them.
all the babies in Al Shifra. They
They
should
took
have
over the
just taken
hostages.
them all and said, "We will give them back one by one when you free the children you've kidnapped."
Oh, what did they do? Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? They should.
I wish Israel would have taken all of the babies in the NICU. There were 30 babies there.
Yes, right.
And just said, we'll give you one for every 3 or something,
Yeah.
something outlandish.
Yeah, but they don't care. They don't want the babies back. It's a headache for them, for the Hamas.
Yeah, they even shoot
They
their
don't
own
want it.
people.
They don't want the
People wanting
babies
to
back.
leave, they shoot them.
They don't want the babies back.
It's good. It's good fodder for the press.
Yeah,
It's true. The press believes everything they say.
I think it's like politicians. I just think they've sunk to a level where they want to give everybody what they think they want to hear.
The media?
Yeah, like politicians.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to hear? That we have enough money to pay for everything? Okay, we have enough money to pay for everything, and we'll lower taxes.
And everyone who gets arrested gets out free.
And we should only work 4 days a week, and we should be able to retire at 32.
Yes. Sign me up. And then you vote for the guy. The next thing you know, your taxes are up. People are getting shot in the street.
You should see
and
it.
They're building an apartment building next to your house.
Since Silver Lake with Cassie is below our office building. It's not just homelessness.
It
should be as nice as the homelessness in front of routes. It's homelessness living in garbage everywhere. Piles of trash. Like, what do they need broken down crap?
Where does all this money go for they raise so much? Where does it go?
Billions.
It's like they used to say the military industrial complex. This is a whole business. This homeless thing is a whole business.
Yeah, I work out sometimes with a guy who's a Democratic operative, young guy, nice guy. And he's like, "Oh, Karen Bass is so nice." I'm like, I'm in the Elon Musk camp. I don't care about nice. Get the job done or you're fired.
Yeah.
It's not about being nice.
So nice.
We got to get out of here. Had it.
How are things in Montana?
Either we're going back to Montana or Eretz Yisrael. One or the other.
What do the newspapers in Montana say?
I didn't tell you. I got to play you this sometime. Is that Mordechai on his Heritage Retreats phone line in Montana gets this call. "Hello, Rabbi. We want you to know if you need anything, we've got you covered. We have a whole whole posse here, and we support you, the Jewish people in Israel. and we've got your back. We've got you covered. So you
That's
just
great.
call us if you need any help. Mordechai's
great.
like, Ken, you gotta hear this. You gotta hear this.
Love it. Love it.
Isn't that crazy?
That the most of the countries like that. They've got the crazy people here in New York.
The trouble is the state next to Montana, Idaho, has got all the Ku Klux Klan guys.
Yeah, they got
Right. Right next to Montana's. The Idaho is full of the Ku Klux Klan.
It's true. I rode my bike through there. There were all these Confederate flags flying, and I was just like,
Yeah.
what the what do they have Confederate
Idaho was
flags
south?
in northern Idaho? Crazy.
With your yarmulke on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I only buy in Montana, not Idaho.
Yeah. Montana's so big. When we used to take the train from Seattle to Cleveland for a Tel's Yeshiva, it took us 24 hours to go through the state of Montana from one end to the other. It was
You went through my town. I have a house in Whitefish, right where the train goes through.
Oh
It's
yeah,
right by my house.
yeah.
Is Joel there? You see Joel?
I see Mark Zuckerberg.
Remember that Rabbi Geller used to go there?
Yeah, he does. He has a Talmud in Whitefish. The guy's great. The guy is the lawyer. His Talmud is my broker and her husband, my real estate broker. It's super small world.
Where were you on Shabbos, Ken?
Where was I on Shabbos? I was here. I was at the bar mitzvah, the block bar mitzvah.
I didn't see you.
It was 20,000 people there, no?
A lot of people. Wow. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a beautiful bar mitzvah, actually. Super sweet.
Rabbi Bloch's brother has a beautiful voice.
Wow.
Chakras? That was
so nice.
They're all good. They're all good ballet tefillah.
Let's see a blessing. How many brothers are there? Look at a big family.
Yeah, I don't know. He has a sister in Muncie and a brother in Muncie, and I don't know what else, but I'm sure more.
Well, his sister lives here too.
She does?
Yeah, her sister is Tova Loftman. She works with Brian.
Oh, yeah, that's how they're related. All the Loftmans were there. That's right.
Yeah.
She's a chip off the old block. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I apologize.
You're fine. 17. So they made a yeshiva at the kever of Chizkiah Melech. Some say for 3 days. Chadam or Shiva, some say for 7 days. Va'amri la shloishim, some say for 30 days. Tana Rabbanan. The Chavad Osulo b'moso. They gave Chavad to Chizkiah Melech, Chizkiah Melech Yehuda. Shiyatz l'fan of shloishim b'shisha elef chalutzei kosei. 36,000 men with their toga under one of the shoulders of the toga is left uncovered. That's a sign of Avelis. They wear a toga, right? You have a sheet covering your body, but when you're in Avelis, one shoulder is left revealed. And there were 36,000 men that walked in front of the coffin. The same covet was given to Achab Melech. So what was the big deal of Chizkiah? They put a Sefer Torah on his coffin. The person in the coffin was Mekayim, what's written here in this Torah. The Gemara says, for Talmidei Chachamim who pass away, we do this as well. What was so special about Chizkiah Melech? Afukim afkinan anuchi lo manchina. Today we take out a Sefer Torah. We don't place it on the mita of the niftar. Viboy sema anuchi nami manchina. Some say that even in Bavel they would put the Sefer Torah on the mita, but they wouldn't say kiyam lo amrinan. They wouldn't say kiyam aksher kosu b'zeh. Amar Rabbi Rechana avazlina badei Rav Yochanan mishal shmaitza. We went to hear Rabbi Yochanan speak about the sugya. He went to the bathroom. When we came out of the bathroom, he wouldn't answer us until he washed his hands, umanach tefillin, and put his tefillin back out and mavorech. Make a bracha on the tefillin.
Doesn't say he said Asher Yatzar. It's interesting. Made a bracha on the tefillin, but it doesn't see. It seems from that he made a bracha on the tefillin, but not Asher Yatzar.
Well, it just says umavorech. I don't know what it was mavorech. I'm assuming it's the tefillin. Maybe he made both brachos. You got to remember, you can't put on your tefillin when you go to the bathroom. You have a hesach hadas. You have to make another bracha, and maybe he made a bracha Asher Yatzar as well. V'hodar Amarlan, and then he told us the sugya that afilu kayim amrina. That Rabbi Yochanan says even bizman hazeh, we also say kayim zeh masher kosu b'zeh, but li made lo amrina, that he taught Torah. That's not said now. Amar Mar. Gadol Talmud Torah Talmud maybe lead mice. Talmud Torah is great because it leads to mice. So Maisa seems to be greater than Limud. Loikasha Halam Migmer, somebody who learns just to be able to do Maisim. Halagmuri, but someone who learns to be able to teach, that's a bigger level. More than even being Mekai. Happy are the people that put seeds on water. Mishalche regel ashor v'achamor. Pasuk in Yeshaya. Koloisik patur v'gmilas chasodim. Zoich l'nachlas shnei shvatim. Whoever's involved in study of Torah and Gemilas Chesed, he inherits two big shvatim. So what's pshat? Shneimar. Ashrechem zarvein zriya l'tztaka. Zriya refers to charity. Shneimar zar lachem l'tztaka v'katzur l'fichased. Pasuk in Hosea. Ve'ein mayim el Torah. Shneimar avi kol tzamei l'chu. Whoever's thirsty, go to water. So the Zor al Komayim, the Kavana is for people who do Gemilas Chesed and teach Torah and learn Torah. The Zoichel and Achla Shnei Shvatim. Who are these Shvatim? Zoichel Akila Ki Yosef, the throne of Yosef. Shnever ben Paras Yosef Benos Tzador Ale Shur. Yosef is compared to a shore. The Zochla Nachla Knachlas Yisachar, who's compared to a Chamor. Shneimar Yisachar Chamor Goret. Is the Amri Oivav Noifim Lefon of Ki Yosef, that his enemies should fall in front of him like they fell in front of Yosef. Lesiv. Moshe said, "B'chor sharo hadar lo, v'karnei re'em karnav bahem amim yinagach yachtav af se'aretz." The people will run away. The Zoicha lebina ki Yisachar, because it says umivnei Yisachar yodei bina leitim ladas mayasa Yisrael. So that's why when Yaakov next few weeks Parsha, Yaakov's going to say Vayili Shor v'Chamor. I always say Pshat Shor is Yosef and Chamor is Yisachar. And yet he puts Yosef first, even before Yisachar is the Rosh Hashiva. But Yosef was the one who lived in both worlds. He was in politics as well as Torah. So Vayili Shor v'Chamor. Harulach arba avos, harulach arba avos, harulach arba avos. Perak Sheni, Bava Kama. Ketzad haregel muades. We said that regel is muad from the get-go. Now how? Ketzad haregel muades. We're talking about lishbor baderech halicha. For example, the cow is walking, and while it's walking, it breaks kalim through normal walking. That's something that is from the get-go. You don't have to warn an animal to see it do it multiple times. That's normal. However, if it bucks while it walks, so that's unusual. If it does damage, that would be under keret, and you'd only pay chatzines. Or if while the animal's walking, stones are kicked, and the stones roll, and the stones break kalim, so that's called tzroiros, mishalem chatzinezek. In both cases, for different reasons. The beita, the bucking falls under keret. The stones is a different din. It's aloch l'mosh misinai because it's urcha, but it pays chatzinezek. We learned before that it's a halach that if this happened, yeah, that's if you're in your neighbor's field. If you're in Rosh Hashanah, tzroiros is potter, because tzroiros is really a told of regel, and regel is potter Rosh Hashanah. Now, dar sala kli v'shavarto, it jumped on a kli and broke it. The nafal al kli v'shavro, that kli now falls on another kli and breaks it. Ala rishon mishad ezek sholim. Drasa is regular, is not shinui. So that pays like regel, which is nezek sholim. V'ala achro mishad chatzin nezek, it's like tzroiros. It's like the stones rolling and breaking something else. Okay, hatar negoilin, chickens muadin la'alach kedarkan v'lishbor. When chickens walk, they can also break things, and therefore they would pay nezek sholim. Imaya dolil kosher b'roglov. There was a rope that was tied to the chicken as a simon, and the rope got dragged on a kli and broke it. Or it's jumping. Umeshaber sakelim. All of these things are not kedarko. So it would be a shinui. We've learned all along shinui. Rashi says dolil. The rope is like tzroiros. And hidus nami l'chora is also al tzroiros, not carrot. The only pay chatzines. Formula Ravina l'Rav. So what do you mean in the Mishnah? Ketzad haregel muedes, habehema muedes. I mean, hainu regel, hainu behema. Why does the Mishnah jump from regel to behema? Amr lei So Rava answered, Tana Avois. So it starts off with the Av Nezikin, which is Regel. That's mentioned in the Torah. That it breaks something with its legs. And then later it mentions the Tolda, which is the Behema Muedes Lalach Kedarka, Lushaber Begufa, like with its body, Besaira, with its hair, Uvishliv Shaled Der Chilucha. These are all Toldos to Regel. It's Hezek is Matsui, and it doesn't have Kavanah Lahazik when it's doing these things. So the Tana started off talking about an Av, which was the Regel. And then the Behema, which uses its body and its hair, it's also Muad, not just for Regel. Elameata, Seifa, let's look at the next Mishnah. Diktoni, Hashem Muedes, Habehema Muedes. So my avos, my toldus over there is no difference between Shane and a tolda of Shane. So the Gemara answers, Rava answered Ravina like as a joke. Listen, I am going to explain one Mishnah. You'll explain the next Mishnah. But Sof kol sof time of mine. Why did the Mishnah have to repeat Shane and Behema? On Ravashi, Tana Shane, which includes a chaya, not just a domesticated animal, but a wild animal. Uktani Shane shel Behema. Now, why did you have to teach both? Salgadaitek Amina Vishilach es bi'iro. Ubier b'steacher, ksiv. That's a domesticated behema. So I might think by Shane, you only pay damages when it eats. That's a behema in chaya lo, but not a wild animal. Kamash v'lon, that chaya is bichlal behema. So you're going to be chaya for Shane, for chaya like you are for behema. Iachi ha'maboila l'misna beresa. So why not mention that first before Behema and then Shane, which seems to be subservient to that? It mentions the one first that is more chaviv, because it's more chidushte. So in our Mishnah, Behema and Regel, it should also mention the one that's not written before us in the Torah. Where it says Hachiyash, there's no comparison. Hasam by Shane, Ivy, both Shane of Achai and Shane Behema are considered avois nina. So Hachta Asle Midrash Chavivale. Shane of Achaya that was not learned beferish, but was learned as a drasha, it was more chaviv to the chazal. They put it first. Hacha by Regel and Behema, we have just left Perek Rishon, Shavik Av, which we talked about Regel. And then what? We're going to start off with Tolda? No. And he boys him in a similar answer. I did the Salik Regel. We had just finished discussing Regel. At the end of the Perek, we continue Posach Regel. Tanarabona. Behema muedes lahalach kedarka v'lishbor. A behema doesn't have to go through a tam and muad process for walking. If it does damage through normal walking, it's muad from the get-go. Ketsa. Behema shenichnas l'chotzra nizik. Your animal goes into your neighbor's field. V'hizika begufa b'derech kilicha. And the side of the animal damages a wall through normal walking, or besaira b'derech halucha, or with its hair, or be'ukav shaleh, its saddle, or b'shlief shalem, or the burden that's on its back. Ubeprumbia shebepia, or the bit in its mouth. Bezug shebetzavor, the bell around its neck. Chamor b'masa'o, or the donkey with its burden. In all these cases, Misham Nezek Sholim. Sumchus Oimer, Tsroirois, stones that the animal kicked up. And then Chazir, Shaya Nover Ba'ashma V'izbik, a pig that was digging around in a garbage dump, Mishalem Nezek Sholim. That's the price. Now, Hezek Pshita. I mean, if a Chazir does this, of course he's going to pay Nezek Sholim. If the pig kicked up stones, and the stones did damage, so Sumchas has his own Shita, not like we've been learning, that damages through Tzroris pays Chatzi Nezek. Sumchas holds Mishayim Nezek Sholim. So first of all, what are we to Tzroris? Mandikar Shemaim. Who's talking about Tzroris in this brayso? So Chisur Mechsur. There were some words missing. Tzroirois, Kiorchayu, regular Tzroirois, stones kicked up, Chatzi Nezek. Pays Chatzi Nezek. Chazer Shaya Goyve Ba'ashma V'hitir V'hizik, but a pig in a garbage dump and it kicks up stones, also Mishlam Chatzi Nezek. And there, Sumchus Omer Tzroirois, in a regular Tzroirois case. And Chazer Shai Nover Ba'ashma V'hitis V'hizik Mishlam Nezek Shom. He does not accept the Halach L'mosh Mesini that Tzroirois pays only Chatzi Nezek. Since this is a normal derech of the Beima, that stones are picked up, are rolling, and it does damage. B'sham nezek sholim. Barabo. Tarnagoylim shayu mafrichim mimakom lamakom. Chickens that are flapping and flying from one place to the other. Vishavru kalim bekanfeya. They broke kalim with their wings. Misham nezek sholim. That's like regel. Now, if the wind of their wings damaged kalim, that's considered like tzroiros, right? Beruach shebekanfei and meshamin chatzi nezek. Sumchus Omar, he's very consistent. Nezek sholi. Tanya Yidich. 1 second. 1 second. Very windy outside. Susie?
Yeah.
So what time is tomorrow night? What time is tomorrow night that we have to leave?
Tomorrow's at 7:30, and I think it takes like an hour to get there.
Okay.
We
Okay.
have, wait. So
Okay, fine.
2 and 3 is 5. Wait, what time is our thing?
Okay, no problem. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 5:45. Okay? 5:45 p.m. And we'll talk about when we're going to learn Tuesday. I'm moving the Tsurba to Wednesday night. So I'll send a message. Tsurba is going to be Wednesday night, not Tuesday night. And Tuesday, so we'll talk about the times. Wednesday we'll have regular time. 7:30 Daf Yomi, 8 o'clock, or 7:15, and 8 o'clock Tsurba. Tuesday night will also be probably 6 o'clock, 5:45, something like that. Tanyidich. Tarnagolim Shayim Mahadsin Agabi Isa. Chickens that were jumping on dough, Agabi Peros, or fruit, the tinfu, and they dirtied these things, or nikru, or made holes in it. So this is a normal activity of a chicken. So Misham Nezek Sholim. Helu Ofar, if though in their jumping, dirt was raised, otsurs or stones, and they did damage, so that's secondary. And therefore Misham and Chatzi Nezek. And again, Sumchus Nezek Sholim. We see Sumchus is consistent in his argument. Tanidich. A chicken that was flapping from place to place. And wind was generated by the wings. It's not direct damage. It's a shinui, and therefore it's only pays chatzi nezek. Stomach rabbanon. The Brisa seems to be like the Chachamim, who argue with Sumchus. Amar Rava Bishma Sumchus. Well, I don't understand, says Rava. I actually understand Sumchus. Why? When an animal kicks stones, it also came from the koach of the animal. So Sumchus sees the koach is like the goof. Makes no difference whether he damaged directly with the side of the sides of the animal or the foot of the animal, the goof itself, or whether a damage that came from the power of the animal kicking stones. Ele Rabbanon, I don't get it. If when it kicks up stones, we treat its koyach as its goof, then kulin nezek boiler shalim. It should pay nezek shalim. The lavka guchal dami, so chatzi nezek dami lo shalim. It shouldn't pay chatzi nezek either. So harder v'amarava lo'ilam kegufa dami. We do hold that koyach is like the goof, but it pays only chatzi nezek tzroiros because hilchos gemira. It's a halach l'mosh misinai that this secondary damage through rolling stones is a separate case, and you don't pay nezek shol. Amar Rava, kol shebezav tamei. Anything that when a zav touches, it conveys tumah or moves something. So b'nizikim misham nezek sholim. Through the same action, you would pay nezek sholim. Kol shebezav tor. If it's an indirect touch, so that what the zav touches would not be mitame, if with that indirect action damage occurred, only b'nizikim misham chatzi nezek. V'rava tzroros asal shmeinam. This klal that Rava established, that what it does with its body, you pay nezek sholim, and what you do only through its koach, you b'sham chatzi nezek. So we have already know this. So look, Rava ba'agola moshkin b'korin kamashma. We're talking about a wagon that's pushed or pulled by an animal. So that's almost like a direct action with its goof. And similarly, if a zav moves something with that kind of direct action, it's mitame, so it's considered a direct action when it comes to damages. And it's not considered tzroiros. And Tanya Kavoti de Rava, the Gemara is going to bring a proof from a Baraisa like Rava. An animal is mued if it breaks something during regular walking. And my animal goes into my neighbor's backyard. it does damage with its body through regular walking. Ubesira, or through its hair, derech hilucha. Be'ukev shaleh, on its with its saddle. Ubeshliv shaleh, the bit, or the what did we say shlif was? The burden on its back. Ubeprum b'yeshabepiyah, the spit in the bit in its mouth. Bezuk shabetzavar, the bell. The chamor b'maso v'agol moshechas bekoro, or a wagon. In all these cases, misholim nezik sholim. So an animal that moves by a wagon, that's like he did at Begufo, and you pay nezik sholim, and not chatzi nezik. Tana rabbanon. Tana goylim shayu mechatetim b'chevlei dli. Chickens that were picking at rope, holding on to a bucket. V'nifsek achevel, and the rope breaks. V'nishbar adli, and the bucket is broken. Misham in nezik sholim. Boy rova. We said a behema shadarsa al kli v'lo shavarto. It stepped on a kli, but it didn't break it. But nisgalgel l'mokom achav v'nishbar. But it rolled to another place, then it broke there. Mao. Do we say basar me'ikar zlin v'gufei ave? Do we look at the beginning of the process? And the beginning was its goof, because the behema itself is the one that pushed the kli. So maybe we should treat it like regel, pay nezik sholim. Oidil basar tover mona azlina v'tzorstinu. We look at how did the kli break? The break didn't occur when the animal pushed it. It rolled and then got damaged. Maybe it should pay like tzroirois chatzi nezik. So Tifshet laid me to Rava. Let's at least answer our question, that which what Rava said somewhere else. Shama Rabba, Zora kli mirosh hagag. Person throws a bucket off of a roof. Uba acher v'shavru b'maket. A guy is waiting on the bottom with a baseball bat, and while it's falling, he hits it with the baseball bat, breaks it. Potter. The guy who used the baseball bat is Potter. The one who threw it off the roof is Chayiv. So we see Basar Meikar Azli. We go from the beginning. Since without the baseball bat, it was going to break when it hit the ground. It's as if he broke it. The Amrina lay Manot Vira Tova. What did he break? He broke a broken cleat. It's like dead man walking. This is dead already. The cleat was going to break from the moment it fell off the roof. And what he broke now is not really relevant. So it's the first goyrem that's responsible. So maybe this helps us resolve the question when the behema pushed a kli, and it didn't break right away, but then it rolled, and when it got to the other place, then it broke. We should go after it should be regel. So the Gemara says no. Le Rabba pshitale. Rabba would see it as a davar pasha, but Rava meboile. Rava can still see it as a question. And just because Rabba held that way doesn't mean Rava has to hold that way. So Toshma, Hidus, jumping of chickens, is Eina Muad. So that you have to, it's like goring. You have to do it 3 times in order for it to be Muad. V'yesham ereze Muad. But another price says, no, it is Muad. So, Hidus Sagadaitach? Why wouldn't we think that a chicken jumping isn't mu'id? That's what chickens do. Elalav hidus vihitis. What happened was it jumped, and then it kicked off a stone. The mars of our basar meikar azlina. We look at the beginning process. Since a chicken normally jumps, so any damage that occurs, even down the road, we look at the way it did in the beginning, and we would treat it as normal, and therefore would pay nezek shomer. Umarsa rabasar taver monazlina. We look at how the kli was broken eventually. There was an extra goyrim, not just the original process. So maybe it wouldn't be chai versus low. We can explain the machlokas and the brayso a different way. We'll learn this tomorrow.
So Simchas doesn't hold from Tzros as halacha Moshe Sinai, huh? How
We'll see,
can-
we'll see what we saw a little bit today what Simchus holds. He holds koi koi kegufo.
Yeah, I know. So, but when he doesn't hold for halacha Moshe Sinai, what's generally when somebody says halacha Moshe Sinai, do they have machlokas usually with that, or do we always say that we take their word that they did?
Well, when you
which
say
means that-
halach, when you say halach l'Moshe Sinai, there's no
Yeah.
machlokes regarding that halacha. But each person had a different Masorah. One Rav had, we received 318 halach l'Moshe Sinai, and these are the 318. And another Amor might say, yeah, we have 318, but they're this, this, and this, and
Something
this
else.
is not halach l'Moshe Sinai.
Uh-huh. They're not all uniform. That's it. I see. Okay, so it's
Go ahead, Ernie.
Shkoyach.